Hey guys, everything new under the sun. I want to take a look at what happened with the peace process, the 70 Nations conference that occurred in Paris. And so what happened here? I've got a couple of articles. This is from Breaking Israel News. 70 Nations Paris Peace Conference. Total dud. Anti-Israel gathering defeated, apparently. In what should have been an all-out Israel hate fest was possibly disastrous consequences for the Jewish state. 70 nations gathered in Paris for a peace conference on Sunday, but at the end of the day, the results were lackluster and failed to accomplish anything significant against Israel. So maybe the Lord preempted that to some extent. Maybe the timing wasn't right here to push a two-state solution, although there is a UN meeting convening, I think today, Tuesday, maybe that's Wednesday, to push ahead more things, and that's the more significant date, actually. The conference in Paris, set forward 1 year ago by French Foreign Minister Fabius, was expected to have dire repercussions for Israel. Fabius envisioned it as a way of forcing Israel to accept this two-state solution. Forcing? Now, prophetically in the end times, there's going to be a peace covenant enforced, not a new one. So these guys aren't going to come up with a new one. The Antichrist is going to enforce a peace covenant with Israel, one that's probably already on the table, already been discussed. His original proposal called for France and other nations at the conference to recognize a Palestinian state inside Israel's border if an agreement was not signed between Israel and Palestinian Authority. So they're just going to go and recognize a Palestinian state regardless of any negotiations that occurred. And apparently the Vatican has already recognized Palestine as a state and has a Palestinian embassy at the Vatican. The present incarnation of the conference was markedly toned down by French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault at a conference in Paris last June, setting the parameters for Sunday's conference. The threat of recognizing the Palestinian state was removed. Many feared Sunday's conference would be an echo to the UN Security Council Resolution 2334 passed 3 weeks ago, declaring Jewish presence in Judea, Samaria, and the Temple Mount to be illegal. But the conference in Paris stopped short of placing the blame entirely on Israel. Well, isn't that a nice relief there? Concluding instead with a plea for direct negotiations. Though the final declaration made reference to the UN Resolution 2334, it amended the language of the resolution, which declared Israeli settlements to be illegal. So that is some good news. We need to pray for the peace of Israel, and looks like we've been afforded some time here. But let's see. So how do the Palestinians take it? It's from J-Post. Palestinians slam UK, Australia for not supporting Paris Peace Declaration. And that peace declaration is a declaration of Palestine as a state. And it never was. But whatever deal may come out of this is going to be enforced by the one world leader here. PLO Executive Secretary General Erekat on Tuesday slammed the UK and Australia for their refusal to support the declaration that emerged earlier. We regret and denounce the reservations made by the United Kingdom and Australia to the final statement of the Paris Peace Conference, he said in the statement. Erekat stated the peace declaration emphasized the commitment of the international community to the two-state solution and an end to Israel's occupation of Palestine, and that is invalid. If you look at the Balfour Declaration, there has already been a two-state solution imposed. That was the Balfour Declaration, which created Jordan and created Israel. And but no, they don't accept that declaration. They want to make a new declaration and take more land away from Israel that Israel legally won in battle after all its neighbors attacked it. On Sunday, the British Foreign Office refused to endorse the Paris Declaration, which reaffirmed support for a two-state solution. There already is a two-state solution: Israel and Jordan, and called for a stop to the violence and ongoing settlement activity. Also called on each side to refrain from unilateral steps to prejudge the outcome of negotiations on final status issues. Now that was generally the line that the U.S. towed. They're not enforcing anything, but with their non-veto of Resolution 2334, U.S. stopped doing that and stopped refraining from supporting unilateral decisions on this and forcing an opinion on the subject there. It says, we have particular reservations about international conference intended to advance peace between the parties that does not involve them. Israel wasn't even there, so they're trying to create peace with two countries, and Israel wasn't even there. Adding that its timing right before American transitions into a new president also wasn't ideal. They were trying to push this through before Trump got into power, basically. The most important priority must be resumption of direct negotiations between Israel and Palestinians for a two-state solution as soon as possible. Erekat, however, called the reservations of the countries groundless. So that is the update on what happened with the peace conference. Now there is some upcoming UN Security Council talks, I think today or tomorrow. So we'll hear more about that then. But I just wanted to bring you an update on what happened at the peace conference. Nothing really went through there. It was kind of a dud. Everybody thought it could have been a real push by the Table of Nations, the 70 nations representing all nations of the earth. But the Bible does say that all nations of the earth will come against Israel. And they did here. It just didn't succeed. And they tried in the past. And at one point it will succeed, and there will be a covenant enforced by the Antichrist on Israel to create some sort of a two-state solution or something like that. Maybe the carrot being they can rebuild their third temple. So we're still looking for that, but this one turned out to be a dud. They couldn't move forward with it, so it's going to be interesting to see. And I will bring you updates on the UN Security Council meeting that is occurring, like I said, today or tomorrow. But anyways, I'll bring updates on that. So I just wanted to update you on that one. Interesting news. Prophecy is moving ahead, and these are interesting times. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.